Watch Dogs. You know, when I started with it, right off the bat I wanted to make an angry video about it, because problems with the game, problems with Uplay to be precise, started immediately after the download has finished. But now, I don't even have the energy to be angry, because Watch Dogs is so soul-suckingly bad, I'm just exhausted at this point. After finishing the campaign, I want to delete it and forget it has ever happened. First of all, fucking Uplay. I didn't even mind it too much before Watch Dogs. It was an additional button between me and the game, but it was tolerable. Until it started hanging out with Origin during sex parties and got some fucking DRM retardation from it. Okay, let me explain. I live in Moscow. Having access to numerous sources of pirated software, the only reason I buy games is convenience. I'm old enough to have disposable income and lazy as hell. I adore Steam because I have a list of games, I can choose one, push install, wait 5 minutes, push play, and bam, I'm in the game having fun. Besides, in here we get lower prices than guys in the West, and I can play original versions without shitty translations and god-safe voice acting. And the same reason I watch movies in English, I like to absorb the media as it was intended by the creators, not through someone else's translations. To play Watch Dogs in English, the game I legitimately bought mine, I had to go through the following steps. Download the legal Russian copy, the only copy available for me. Then go to a torrent site, find a cracked version, torrent it, install it, copy-paste necessary sound and text files, and pray that it works. It didn't this time, menus had no text in them at all. Find screenshots of menu screens, find out where the language tab is, change it to English and pray a little more. To be clear, I had to pirate the game I own. Do I even have to explain how fucking ridiculous it is? All that process took me about half a day. So tell me, Ubisoft, why the fuck have I bought your game in the first place when I could just skip all of that and play the pirated version? Or was it intentional because Watch Dogs is all about hacking? If you want to keep your customers, give us options for the fuck's sake. It is why I have a freaking PC. I want options for my money that I'm ready to spend for the sake of personal convenience, and not searching torrent sites getting viruses every next step of the fucking way. Sort your shit out. I like your games and I don't want to start ignoring your very existence like I do with EA. And I have about 300 games on Steam. Trust me, I and many people I know won't buy and won't even bother pirating your games because we have access to so much stuff fighting for our attention. The next time I see your game not having language options, I would just say, oh, fuck it, I'll just play something else. And if you think that allowing only one language option would stop resellers exporting your games to Western customers from the East, you are wrong. If a person bothered enough to get an Eastern European key, he will get any language he wants just by spending time on it, still keeping his $30. It is the legitimate customers you're pissing off, only pushing us back to piracy that most people abandon after a certain age. Besides, including a little language select screen before the downloading starts is not hard. A lot of people will thank you for that, starting from just foreigners who live abroad to people like me. And mind, this pissed off attitude is what I'm starting to play your game with. Do you think chances I would like it are high at this point? And as I said before, I didn't like Watch Dogs. Yeah, I was pissed off at it because of all the faffing about I had to go through just to run it, but it all vanished because after actually playing the game, it gave me 100 new reasons to despise it. Let's start with the fact that it looks and most importantly runs like us. And I have a decent PC. Yeah, I can't exactly launch people into space with it, so I do understand when Crysis 3 drops down to 30 FPS on ultra settings when I'm frapsing. But this piece of shit that looks like GTA 4, a game from 6 years ago, has no right to drop below 30 FPS on medium settings. And if I set it on settings recommended to me by Nvidia, it doesn't go above 50. It's a fucking failure that goes as far as making the game unplayable because of FPS fluctuations on the spot even when nothing is going on. When any kind of action is involved, especially car chases, it becomes disgustingly awful. And it is a AAA release in 2014. It's like buying a Mercedes and finding out that its wheels are made of cardboard. And to the game itself, I don't even know where to begin. I guess the non-existent plot will do. In the prologue, the playable character's niece gets killed in a car accident caused by an assassination attempt, since he robbed the wrong people, and so he decides to avenge her. That's the whole plot, not even joking, it is the whole plot that takes itself seriously. But you know what? I don't remember seeing that freaking niece even once. Why the hell would I care to avenge her? What was so fucking great about her? Or just the fact that a child died should motivate me to suffer for a 15-hour campaign. I know several children, they're not that great. Certainly not worth murdering several hundred random people on the quest for vengeance. So, if she wasn't some kind of wonder child that knew how to cure all the diseases at once, I don't fucking care. But it seems Aiden, the uncle, cares for some stupid-ass reason. Probably because he wants to fuck his own sister. Or maybe not. You know, I don't have a clue actually. After beating the game, I don't know a single thing about the character. Except he's the blandest motherfucker on earth with a gravelly manly voice. He has no life of his own, no ambition of any kind that doesn't revolve around his sister's family. Even the basic questions about him remain unanswered. For instance, the one that bugs me the most. Why the hell did he become a vigilante? Because his niece died? It makes no sense. He was a criminal and remains a criminal. Where the hell this vigilante shit is coming from? I just don't understand. He so desperately wants to be Batman, he can't even get the transition right. Well, he isn't fit to become Batman in the first place. It just looks like for all his life he was waiting for someone in his family to be killed, so he could just go, I'm Batman now. But Aiden, shut up, I'm Batman now, and goes outside to kill random people screaming, I'm Batman, love me, while shooting with one hand and shakily jerking off with the other. If it isn't clear by now, I hate the character, if you can call him that. During the game I found myself shouting at the screen in annoyance for him to just shut the fuck up. Everything about him annoys me to no end, starting from his face to every line of dialogue that he spits out of it. And during the end credits, the game blatantly tells you that Aiden is a complex and interesting character, like the game actually wishes that he was, and thinks that if it repeats this wish enough it would actually come true. And even if it was intended to make him as bland as possible so the player could project on him easier, why the hell in the end he makes all the choices for the player? I would easily sell all the codes to terrorists and blackmail the mayor and everybody else with the info I got. Yet Aiden thinks it is wrong. While machine gunning innocent people for trying to call the police is totally fine with this obnoxious git.
911, state your emergency, please. Help, there's gunfire, please. Hello. I think I've lost a caller.
Every other character is no different. Yeah, but they have slightly more personality, but I still know nothing about them, except that they're hackers. If given the choice, I would play as George, I guess. At least he is psychotic enough to be in a sandbox game, unlike everybody else. By the way, the villains, as you might have guessed, are quite shit as well. I kinda remember two of them, the skinny black guy that is like a gang leader or something, and Bricktop from Snatch by Guy Ritchie, who, spoilers, in the end turned out to be the main villain. Never mind the fact that he kills people and organizes slave auctions, because it all doesn't matter, but when you find out that he's related to Eunice's murder, ooh, that's when the stuff gets serious. The worst part, the whole thing is so badly written and so unfocused. Most of the time I didn't even know who I was killing and why, partially because throughout the game you fight like 3 types of enemies. Normal guys, a bit more armored guys, and bulldozers from Payday 2. Like every faction hires from one mercenary group, except everybody is racist in this world, so one faction only hires black guys and the other only white guys. The gameplay is no better than the story in general. It's basically GTA made worse by a million bugs and inconveniences that pile up into one big annoying game. The main mechanic, namely hacking, is just a set of abilities, most of which you would recognize if you have ever played any stealth game. Some of the abilities, like profiling, is just useless unless you're looking for Easter eggs, like finding a guy that likes lesbian porn or something edgy, I guess. When hacking is required in mission, it is always just a linear jumping from camera to camera with a hacking minigame in the end, and that's it. A couple of times you get to help other characters escape, which is also just like a little minigame that brings nothing new to the table. It is not like you can actually be a hacker and do stuff with it, you're just an action character with an absolutely contrived magic phone. And maybe this whole GTA sandbox thing could have been fun, if you forget that there is no reason to prevent crime since it's not your fucking business, and maybe you wouldn't ignore this infamous style reputation meter because, I don't know why you would pay attention to it actually. Maybe because you're alone and need love of non-existent computer people that live inside a magic box in front of you, since the whole thing only affects radio news reports. But yeah, it could have been fun if the game ran properly and there wasn't a million annoyances between you and the fun, like weapon sound glitches when firing sound doesn't stop, or car honk sound glitch when it starts honking as soon as you enter the car and doesn't stop, the fact that you can't look up to hack helicopters during chases, and the car takedown slow-mo cam that takes away control of your vehicle from you, making you crash every fucking time. Terrible music, and it's not like I have specific tastes. I like metal and rock, and one Alice Cooper song doesn't cut it. Terribly scripted missions when upon getting to a checkpoint everything behind you stops to matter. And I actually think it's more than enough, so I'm gonna stop now. Overall, Watch Dogs is a shitty, overhyped game. And mind, I wasn't into Watch Dogs hype. I've seen too many games fail over the years to be hyped about anything, and I'm that disappointed. I can only imagine what it's like for people who are actually waiting for this game. But you know what? Not so long ago, I've played another sandbox game with dogs in the title. Got it really cheap with all DLC on a Steam sale. It's called Sleeping Dogs, and if I could, I would replay it instead of playing Watch Dogs in the first place. Thanks for watching, guys. The name is GrrrVahrrr, and I shall see you from within my next video.